stories that exist, and I think the importance of doing this is because once we have them, we can never lose them, especially once they are down and digitized and also in print. We can never lose them. Odwa, good morning. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
I'm good. I'm great,
Yes.
man. Welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be
Um,
here.
Tell us a little bit about your background with literature and how you got to decide to want to put together something of this nature.
Okay, so let me first let me first introduce myself. My name is Odwa Bungu. I'm originally from Tanzania at NU8.
Mm,
So let's go back to year 2003.
sure,
That's when I started. I was still in primary school.
sure.
Right. So what happened was at school we were doing a short play. And then what happened was our teacher got sick,
Mm,
so she couldn't continue, like writing the play, and also choreographing the whole play.
oh yeah,
So
putting everybody's roles
yeah,
and positions and things. Sure.
yeah. So I was put in charge,
Mhm.
of the whole thing.
Yeah,
So that's how the whole thing started.
sure.
So I had to write the whole play, and just put all those pieces together.
Mm,
Yes.
okay.
So that's how it started.
And when you finished that, you had found something that you love to do. And how did that play go? By the way, we might as well find out what the rest of the story was about that first play.
So what happened was our play became the best play. Like
Wow.
we actually won the first prize.
Mm,
Out of all the people that were actually competing against.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well
So,
done, man. Well done. So from there, how old were you back then, Paul? Let's get an
Um,
idea of age.
I was around the age of 13, 14.
Okay, so
Yes.
you're a young
Yeah.
man. Finding your way, just finding a style of literature. Even, what did you do after that?
So after that, at the age of 15, that's when I started. I wrote my first novel
Sure.
at the age of 15. So due to certain, problems that I encountered at that time,
Mm,
I couldn't publish the novel. So hence, I actually published the novel around 2018,
mhm.
and the name of the novel is called "To Tame a Loving Heart." Yes.
And what was the inspiration behind To Tame a Loving Heart?
Um, you know how it goes.
Was
When
it a breakup?
when you're still young, and then you get your first breakup, sure, and then you actually
Oh
become a
man.
philosopher
So
and
yeah,
start
no.
writing stories
You,
about
you
it.
become you
Yeah.
become an expert on
Yeah.
on matters of the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that received, by the way? Or was it still, in the developmental phase, of your writing, where it's like you finished the project, but maybe you weren't pushing it out as much. What was the reception like?
I would say it was still in the developmental phase. I would say it was still in the developmental phase because I couldn't market the book well, because at that time I was, not as experienced as I
Sure.
am now. So I couldn't market the book well, and only a few people got to buy the book.
Mm.
Yes.
So let's talk about the book that we've come to discuss today.
Yeah.
It's an anthology of African stories.
Yeah.
Where do you source the stories from?
So what happens is, I went back in history, whereby I read stories, about what happened, to African people. And then I started writing stories, and then putting them together in a way of a poem,
Yeah.
putting them together in a way of a poem, whereby I would actually voice for the voiceless, instead of just putting the story out there. So I would take a story, just a simple story, and I would look at, like, who has power in this story and who is powerless in this story.
Sure.
And then I would talk for the people who are powerless.
Sure.
So if you go back in history, you would understand one thing, that the people who are powerless in history are African people.
Yeah.
You know,
So we don't tell our own stories.
yeah. So I And I was also tired of this thing where in school, we have to read your Shakespeare's, like we have to read your Western philosophers, your Western poets. So
and even Western romance,
Yeah.
every idea that we
Yes.
have and concept that we have comes influenced with other cultures and not our own.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's when I was like, okay, I think it's about time now that we as African people start writing our stories and we get to tell things, in our own perspective, so that people can understand how we feel about these things and how we see these things.
So, importantly, to kind of get an idea, are these stories of history, or are these tales that have been passed down? Do you know?
I would say these are stories of history, because on the book, I do touch on marriages of the past. I do touch on culture. I do touch on tradition. I do touch on heritage, and I also touch on historical stories. And then I just put them in a poetic way, so that people can understand also the creative side and the creative genius of an African person. Yes.
And the storytelling abilities that have
Yes.
taken one side all the way to the other. And what were you hoping to achieve by doing this, by writing this and putting together this compilation?
What I'm hoping to achieve is to put black pain out there so that people can get to learn about black pain and learn that black lives do matter, and also learn that it's not a matter of, black people are being selfish, but it's a matter of, African people want to be free.
Sure.
I know that we have moved from a time where we were once colonized, and then we moved away from that, and then we were in the phase of apartheid, and then we moved away from that. But we are still in mental slavery. That thing is still in our minds, So I want people.
It might even be in our DNA at this time, at this particular time,
Yeah. So I actually, by producing the book, I just want to emancipate people, from mental slavery, so people can actually break those chains, and then and those heavy cuffs, that they are carrying from the past.
Sure.
So hence, when you look at the book cover, you can see that there's a broken chain there.
Yes.
We are just breaking the chains of the past, and we are moving away from the past now. We're not trying to shape, a new direction whereby an African person can do something without blaming another person, and just do something freely without, let's say, when an African person fails,
Sure.
without saying, I'm going to blame witchcraft or I'm going to blame the system. I want us to break away from that.
To own our decisions.
Yes.
Right. What's the most, what part of this process and the book itself do you connect with the most?
There's a poem that I've written that talks about ancestors. Before when the Western people came, we used to acknowledge our ancestors. We used to go up the mountain and actually talk to them, and actually connect with them.
Yes.
But now, after the time when they came, and they brainwashed people, we stopped acknowledging our forefathers, and so I wrote that poem to try to bring that thing back, that we should go back, to a time whereby we can actually acknowledge, the people that paved the way before we came to this world.
Sure. Sure. And 50 years from now, 100 years from now, when we are no longer here, and somebody picks up this book, a young man or girl picks up this book, what would you hope that they are picking up when they pick it up? And we can't explain ourselves, and we can't explain it to them anymore.
Okay.
What are they picking up?
So I think the only thing that they are going to pick up, is the concept of Black consciousness, to actually understand who they are, where they come from, and where they can go or what they can do with their lives, and actually to be proud of who they are.
Sure.
So that's I think that's the most important thing that they'll pick up, when reading this book.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It's 18 minutes before 11. I'm in studio with Odwa Bungu, an author, the director. Tell us a little bit about Afroglyphics as an organization. What does this organization stand for?
Okay, Afroglyphics. Okay, first of all, I started Afroglyphics in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
It was around the same time when I was publishing that first book.
Okay.
So Afroglyphics is about African writings and African paintings, because this company is not only limited to writing, but it's all about expression.
Yeah.
Taking African art and putting African art out there.
Sure.
Because if you look at the space of art, you would find out that African people, in order for African people to be recognized, you have to run, to a white person.
Mm.
That's the reality. We don't have.
You mean as far as support structures and marketing and things like that?
Yes,
okay.
Like making exhibitions and stuff like that.
Okay.
So Afroglyphics wants to take African people, and put them in the space of art, and tell them that art is not just something that you can do as a hobby, but you can also do art as a business. Art can be something that you can express yourself through, and then you get paid through it.
Like curators and exhibitors and things of that nature.
Yes.
I get you. And what anyone who's watching or listening, or those who will be doing so later, because the link will be up and available as well, what do you want them to take away from this interview related to the topic of the book, as well as what you do and your philosophy in life?
Okay, so let me first talk about the topic of the book.
Yes.
The topic of the book is diluted. So as we understand, when something is diluted, it's when it's reduced in strength. So when I looked at African people, and what's happening, I found out that they are reduced in strength, in terms of everything. In any field that you can go in, you would find out that African people are powerless.
Sure.
They are reduced in strength. So what I need people to take away from this book is that I need them to actually try and regain their power, because that's the philosophy that the book is pushing out there.
Sure.
That don't be reduced in strength and just sit down and say nothing or do nothing. You have to fight for what's yours.
Okay.
You have to work hard, and actually regain your strength, take your power back as an African person. So that's what I want people to actually take away from this book. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I ask this to everybody. It's my philosophy for the year. It comes as a question. It's my motto for the year, actually, but it's in the form of a question, because I ask everybody, because it's important that we are reminded. What are you grateful for, my brother?
What I'm grateful for is to be alive. That's because let's actually come to think of it. There are people in hospital right now that are praying to God and begging for their life. So the most important thing is to be alive and doing what you love.
Living with purpose.
Yes. So I think that's one thing that I'm grateful for in this life.
And that's a great thing to be grateful for, because not everybody can say that they have their health with them, and not a lot of people can speak for themselves now to say that they are still here. We've lost a lot. Odwa, best of luck. You're spreading a very positive message. You're doing a very important job, and you are opening a part of a very important conscience that I think not many people are tapping into as much in the context of how you're doing it. So we're glad to be able to give you this opportunity as well to speak to a wider audience, and hopefully, and where do people get the book? That's before we even start saying thank you and giving hugs and stuff. Where is the book available, and how do people get in touch with you and for your literature?
Okay, so at the moment, my book is not on any shelf. It's not on any bookstore.
So it's private orders.
Yes, so you can actually get the book from me.
Yeah.
By contacting me via WhatsApp. The number is 078 969
Yes.
0660. You can contact me via WhatsApp or you can contact me via email. My email is odwa.bungu1@gmail.com. Or you can also contact me via Facebook. My name on Facebook is Odwa Bungu. Author as in the writer.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice one, man. And how much is the book?
The book is 175 rands. And then if you're out of East London, the delivery fee is 25 rands.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice one, man. My brother, all the best.
Okay.
And I think I'll be making my order pretty soon as well. I should have made it before you came so that you come with it. But you're around, so we'll be able to sort that out.
Yes,
Thank you so much, man, and best of luck. Keep up the good work. And don't ever stop putting pen to paper. They say once you start, you're not allowed to stop.
Once you go in, you never go back.
Thank you so much, King.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what all the from the States of Africa.